Hey guys, it's me and Zeke here to talk to you about spiritual disciplines. And I would define spiritual disciplines as practices of Christian faith that transform us into Christ-likeness. I like how Dallas Willard talks about them as being means of receiving God's grace. It's not the actual discipline itself that transforms us, but it kind of opens us up and sets us in the place to receive the grace of God, that we can be transformed into the likeness of Christ. I also like Dallas Willard's definition of a discipline as any activity within our power that we engage in to enable us to do what we cannot do by direct effort. So it's not something we can do on our own, but it's something that we can engage in with God to enable us to do what we would not be able to do by ourselves. And Dallas Willard splits spiritual disciplines into three categories: the inward, the outward, and the corporate disciplines. The inward disciplines are the ones that deal with personal reflection and examination and change of really your mind and your inward heart. The outward disciplines prepare us to interact with others through service and things like that. And the corporate disciplines are the ones that we use to grow with others. We use others for our own growth, like confession, and they bring us closer to other people and closer to God. I can't honestly say that I practice spiritual disciplines as much as I should. I practice the discipline of prayer the most, but outside of the discipline of prayer, I really struggle with doing spiritual disciplines, with implementing them into my weekly life and daily life. And I would say the discipline of solitude is probably a close second for me, but other than that, in prayer, I might practice these disciplines maybe once or twice a month, which I don't believe is enough in what I even close to what my goal would be for performing these spiritual disciplines. I was exposed to them as a young person. I would see my parents fasting or praying or studying or spending time in solitude or whatever, but I wasn't really challenged to make them my own discipline until college. I wasn't really challenged to incorporate them into my own spiritual life until I went to college and began to study, and actually it was it was Richard Foster's book, Celebration of Discipline, that we were reading, that kind of brought me to a new recognition of spiritual disciplines, and I began to incorporate them into my own life. My church, when I was younger, they emphasized spiritual disciplines, but I feel like it was only the main ones, like fasting and prayer and solitude and maybe service. But other than that, disciplines like meditation and simplicity and submission and things like that were kind of left out and forgotten. And I would say that the church that I'm at now, yeah, we prioritize disciplines, especially the common ones, like I said, but I don't think in regards to my ministry and youth ministry that I do a great job of incorporating these disciplines into youth ministry. We kind of assume that these disciplines are for the spiritually mature. But one of the things that I want to do through this class is to learn how to incorporate these disciplines into the lives of students, into the lives of young people. Richard Foster talks about that in his book, how sometimes we think these disciplines are for they're tough to embark on because they're only for the super spiritual or for the people who are mature in their faith. And not to say that a youth can't be mature in their faith, but I would love to see these my teenagers incorporate spiritual disciplines more. So that's something that I'm really looking to grasp as we study these disciplines individually and learn how to incorporate them into our lives and how to incorporate them into the lives of our congregations.